tower in Havana wouldn't answer the plane to give permission to land. So the pilot finally had to tell us, you know, we have 2 hours of fuel, so we'll get you informed. So this is the moment when the President Obama arrived. So I was there at the airport filming his arrival. Unfortunately, it was raining, so the ceremony was cut short. So he just got down and shook hands with some people, and then they went off. And by the time I got to the hotel, my mom was already waiting for me, so I got to say hello. We talked for about 4 hours, and I knew that I didn't have time. I wouldn't have time to see her again. So we just took advantage of that little time, and we hugged, and I had to film myself doing a little piece about their journey getting there. And my mom was filming me doing my piece, and I was like, trying to hold it together. So, and then I just saw her just looking at the video over and over. And to me, that was quite emotional, because I'm the only one in my family that have accomplished something that big. And for her to see me going back with the American president, it was an amazing...
Coming up, going with the American president.
Yes, yes. So this is the little thing that I put together for the trip. And this is the street where we were standing at the baseball game, and you know, we went to see some Cuban musicians. You know, the Capitol building, funny, is under repairs. That's the same time as the American Capitol is in repair. I thought that was kind of interesting. This is the hotel where we stayed. It's called Iberostar Parque Central. And this is about the moment where Obama walked on the stage to give the speech to the Cuban people. This is where we stayed. We couldn't afford to stay at the hotel because it was $600 a night.
$600.
And I said, you know what? I can't afford to stay there, so I just gonna call my brother. My brother found me this apartment 2 blocks from the hotel, and we stayed there. This is the private plane that took us there. And the day of the speech, they blocked all the roads. So there was no access for the Cuban people to get in there. This is the place where he gave the speech, which is the Gran Teatro de La Habana, named after Alicia Alonso, the prima ballerina of Cuba. Most of the people that were in there were governmental people, doctors, and people of, you know, some...
influence.
Yeah, influence. This theater is just gorgeous. This is my first time in it. And I was like over the moon being in that theater. I mean, the details are just amazing. So I was like, I gotta write a piece about this. So this is what I filmed. I took some pictures, and this is from the view from the top of the hotel, Iberostar Hotel. You can see the theater right across the street. It's just gorgeous, and I am glad that he got the opportunity to talk to the Cuban people, because he talked from the heart, you know, and say things in Spanish and not just plain Spanish, Cuban Spanish, which is a little different, you know, like que hola, that is very ghetto, you know, very street-like.
And so in a real sense, you had not only an opportunity to go with the president, but to see some of the things that, well, what do you think about in terms of, I think you mentioned the fact that they painted some of the buildings before his arrival, and they resurfaced the streets and et cetera. But overall, what do you think about Cuba in terms of what you saw at that time?
See, the buildings, this is one of the side street, and I'm doing a story about the people, how calm they are, but they are very excited that the president was going to be there, and this is not being fixed at all. This is one of those streets that are like really near the main street where Obama was going to drive through with the motorcade. But you know, there is a long ways to go for the Cuban government and for the country itself to being rebuilt, and it's going to take a lot of money. And
how did the people feel? I mean, how do you see the people in terms of their feelings and their emotions in terms of the president's trip here?
The moment that I saw that you could feel, I still get goosebumps. The emotion was when we were at the baseball game, because when Obama walked through that tunnel, all you feel was the trembling of the whole thing. It was full of Cuban people, and they were there waiting from 10 a.m. in the morning until he got there about almost 2 p.m. And that's when you felt the energy, and they were chanting and saying his name and moving the flag, and it was very, very exciting moment for the Cuban